Welcome to Akai Update. I am Joseph Ige. This platform is Yahe Yala People's Forum. We call this segment Catechism segment, and I'm highly honored to have a distinguished personality with me here that you love to meet. Sir, can we meet you?
Yes, I'm Professor William Jide Ige. Well, not many people know me by baptismal name William, but generally, my place of work and as a student, people know me as Jide Ige.
I'm mostly honored to have you on this show, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we call this segment Catechism segment, where we have series of questions that we want you to do justice to. So the first question we have on this segment,
I'll try my best.
I trust you. The first question I have for you is, can you take us back to your early years? What were your childhood dreams and how did your educational journey begin?
Well, as far back as I can recollect, I was probably about 6 years old. Going to 8 years, that span of period, I knew that people saw a boy like that liking how to take injections without crying. So some of them will call me doctor. So they all felt I was going to be a future medical doctor. But I grew up in a relatively poor family. My father had some education. He read standard 2. He could speak English. And he learned carpentry. And he used to go on contract jobs with Irish and British people in Ibadan and Lagos when I was growing up. I did not travel out with him at this time, but my memories of him was when he was back home and staying with us. And he had as many wives as concubines. He was popular in my town because he was the first person to build a story building in my town. People call him Baba Lori Oke. That is the Baba on the mountain. It's funny. So he was a charismatic figure. He loves to mix with people. This is my knowledge of him and my mother too. And I remember one day they were having a football match in our town. Some of the teachers in the Catholic school played in the match. And I got home to discuss the match with my father. And of course, a lot of men boast a lot. They said, oh, football, I was very good when I was growing up. When we play other towns or schools, if he's not there, many people will be asking him, is Sige here? Why did he not come? So I went to my mother one day and said, tell me, Mama, does this man play football? My mama looked at me and said, Willie, or Wule is a localized name of William. As I know him, he was a charismatic person. He always had crowds around him. But as for playing soccer, I don't know anything about that. To me, it was like, this woman is putting down my father. But that's the kind of person my mother is. Is very down to earth person. She was not putting her down. She was telling me the truth. So this is the kind of environment where I grew up. And when I was growing, one of my brothers, who had a little more education, was assigned by my father to teach me A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, and all these things. But myself and my brother, we were always fighting because he hadn't the patience to see me through the mistake that I made. So my father came up one day and said, Joseph, that was the name of my brother, said, look, you are not going to teach this boy anymore. Let me handle him. I will be his teacher. And my father was a very patient teacher. Don't forget, he read only standard 2. But before I started school, I could read and write. And he taught me all of that. It's really fantastic because this man can spend 1 week to teach you 1, 2, 3. He will keep going at it. He's not tired or disappointed. And I will never forget that, even in relating to my own children too, in teaching them preschool things.
So which town are you from?
I'm from Mogotu, Ekiti.
From the current Ekiti state?
Yes, we are on the boundary between Osun State and Ekiti State.
Wow.
We are the boundary town.
Thank you for that wonderful submission. The next question we have for you on this segment is, what motivated you to pursue a career in physical chemistry, a field that many find quite challenging?
Well, let me first start by saying that I had a head start in life in terms of education. When I started school, I didn't start at the beginning where everybody starts. I was taken to school and the teachers took me to standard 1. I got to standard 1 and they asked me to come and read. I think it was a Yoruba book they gave to me and I read it. And then they asked me, they gave me 2 arithmetic sums and I got 1 right. Don't forget, this man who taught me all these things while I was still at home. And the teacher was so excited. He has to stop the students, steal the student, and ask them to listen. Look at Baba Ologido, Baba Lorioke. You see, he has never been in school before. Have you seen him around here? They said no. And look, he's better than many of you.
Because you were well grounded from home.
Yes, from home. And then they looked at me, which class would they put me? They thought that if they put me in standard 1, they'd be putting too much pressure on me. So they sent me to primary 2, which is what you call primary 2 today.
Okay.
So that's where I started.
Wow.
That's where I started. And in primary 2, I got on very well. Take either first position or second position or third position. Because at that time, they will come and announce our results at the end of the year in the church. So church members and everybody will be there. And my father is always very proud when they call class so. The person who came first is William Ige.
Everybody
will clap. Of course. Those things really, truly encouraged me. Then I got another head start. There was this Irish priest who is a friend of my father.
Okay.
He told my father,
a Catholic priest.
Let this boy come and stay with me. I was in primary 4 then. So as from primary 4, I was living with this Irish priest. My English was good. I could speak English very well. In fact, I remember when I was in primary 4, we were asked to write an essay composition on the house we live in.
Okay.
And I wrote mine. When my teacher read it, he said, Ige, are you sure it's not father that helped you to write? I said, no, I wrote it myself. They will ask me to respell some of the words in what I wrote and spell them correctly. Like they were surprised I got the spelling for refrigerator correct.
At that level.
At that level. So the teacher took my essay to primary 5, to primary 6, and was telling any of you write this kind of so you see, those cumulative things gave me a head start and made me to feel good thinking about education. And then looking around me, I saw a lot of people who were making it educationally. My mind also was one day, but when I was thinking, my mind was that one day I become a teacher like my teacher. You know, it was much later that my aspiration changed to more than becoming a teacher in some primary school. You know, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Now, background you have given is what necessitate or inspire you to go for physics? Physical chemistry.
No, no, not at all.
So, what instigated you?
So when I finished primary school, I attended Aquinas College. Akure. It's a Catholic secondary school. There's a funny story about that school. When we took the entrance exam, we were called for the interview. And on the day of the interview, after we finished the written part of the interview, we went out, and lo and behold, I saw some of my students that were in my class in primary 4 when father was transferred to, this Reverend Father was transferred to Okitipupa. And not only that, the most shocking part was that I met also my teacher who taught me in primary 4, taught us, about 4 of us in primary 4, and came for the same interview. I was discouraged. I said, look, I didn't know that this interview is for teachers. How can I pass? But surprisingly, the supervisor or the father called all of us into a class and told us that they reviewed the work that we have done, that we have all passed, and that we should all go and see how we can settle our school fees and things like that. They gave us letters of
so even
admission.
In your time,
yes,
you pay school fees during those days?
Oh, we pay school fees.
I thought it was free education then.
No. It was secondary school education was not free, but primary school education was free. Throughout my primary school, I didn't pay a penny. I didn't pay anything. It was free, and that was the time Awolowo was premier in the old Western region. In fact, many people come from other states, like the East, where they still pay fees, to come to the West so that they will have primary free education. And they had it because nobody queries them about where you come from. The primary education was free. Secondary education was not free.
So that is what motivated you to pick physical chemistry. That
yes, I'm coming. So when I got into Aquinas College, in Form 1, Form 2, they began to teach us about the rudiments of science. And when I got to Form 3, I was introduced to the chemistry lab. In Form 3, we were already doing titrations. And
secondary school.
Yes.
Then it is not called SS1 or JS1.
No, just Form 3. And we have for teachers, Irish people, British people. In the Catholic schools were well staffed with people who come, expatriates were teaching us, and they were getting paid with a good salary. And these expatriates were very encouraging, especially in the field of science. I fell in love with things like physics and chemistry. I remember when I was in Form 3, during summer, when the university is on holiday, some of the university students come to teach in our school.
Secondary school.
Secondary school,
Aquinas,
yes. Aquinas College, yes. They come to teach in physics and chemistry. And this whetted my appetite and encouraged me very strongly in the field of science. Though I knew other arts subjects too, and that is the problem that I had. But by the time I got to Form 4, I was able to concentrate my mind on the fact that I'm going to do science. Either chemistry or physics or mathematics. I had become very good in those 3 areas. I was good also in Latin, but I didn't...
Language.
Yes, but I didn't deceive myself that I was going to do Latin. No way, you know. So we had
you were
good
taught
teachers.
Latin then?
Yes, we are taught Latin.
At secondary level.
Yes, in fact, in our class, in the final year in 63, when we did school start, the Latin was so difficult. The Latin exam, I was the only person who scored an A in our class. I got A in my Latin, though I had no intention of doing linguistics or going into classics. People did classics at that time. Sometimes take Latin as one of their subjects in the university.
That is what gives you that motivation to study physical chemistry in the university.
Yes.